All right, let's just jump right into this explainer. We're going to kick things off by putting ourselves in a super common, honestly, pretty high stakes scenario. It's something literally almost all of us have gone through at some point, and it is going to perfectly set the stage for the fascinating psychology we're unpacking today.
So, picture this. You're walking into a job interview. There are two candidates waiting for the exact same role. And on paper, they are completely identical. Candidate A and candidate B have the exact same education, they share the exact same level of experience, and they both exude, the exact same amount of confidence. But there is one single difference between them. Candidate B is generally considered to be just more physically attractive. Now, before a single word is even spoken in that interview room, who do you think gets the job? Seriously, take a second. Think about how this actually plays out in the real world. This brings us to part one. What is the halo effect, the invisible bias shaping our decisions? Well, believe it or not, psychology shows us that the attractive person in our little scenario almost always has a massive advantage. And get this, it has absolutely nothing to do with their actual qualifications. It's all because of a hidden mental shortcut called the halo effect. We're talking about one of the strongest, most pervasive psychological biases ever discovered. It basically happens when just one positive quality, like, say, a person's physical attractiveness, makes us automatically assume that they must have a whole bunch of other positive qualities too, even when we have zero evidence to back it up. Our brain just kind of goes rogue and creates this imaginary, perfect person. It's crazy, but this is the exact cascade happening right inside your head. Step one, your brain registers, oh, they're attractive. Then it instantly skips to step two and assumes, wow, they must be smart. Step three, they're probably really kind. Step four, honest. Step five, successful. It's like this one single visually appealing trait creates a glowing halo around the entire person, and it completely blinds us to the fact that we are literally just inventing these unproven virtues out of thin air. Now, here is what I find really fascinating about this. The halo effect isn't some brand new internet age phenomenon driven by Instagram filters. No, this quirky little psychological glitch was actually discovered over a century ago, all the way back in 1920. Around that time, a psychologist named Edward Thorndike uncovered something truly wild. He asked military officers to rate their soldiers, and the results? They were staggering. He found that if a soldier simply looked attractive, the commanding officers consistently and falsely rated them as being more intelligent, more capable, and just better leaders overall. Obviously, a soldier's physical appearance has zero impact on their actual leadership skills. But that one good quality created a halo effect that totally skewed the officer's professional judgment. Moving on to section 2, the bias in daily life, from first impressions to lifelong choices. So the crucial takeaway here is that this 1920s military discovery isn't just some old piece of history. It is actively manipulating your daily life right now, probably in ways you don't even realize. For example, imagine meeting two strangers. Stranger 1 is super stylish, conventionally attractive, and smiles confidently. Stranger 2, on the other hand, dresses really simply and looks, a bit nervous. Who seems more trustworthy to you? Most people, instantly, and I mean in a split second, choose the first person. But here is the wild part. Neither of them is even open to their mouth yet. Your brain just made a rock-solid decision based entirely on appearance, not facts. That right there, that is the halo effect working silently in the background. And looking at this breakdown brilliantly illustrates just how far-reaching this advantage actually is across pretty much every sphere of our lives. Take social media, for instance. Whether it's Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, creators with attractive faces just get more likes, more followers, and instant trust. We automatically assume they know what they're talking about. In the workplace, studies show attractive people are hired quicker, they pull in higher salaries, and they get promoted way faster. Even judges and teachers unknowingly treat them better. And don't even get me started on relationships. The halo effect is exactly why we completely ignore glaring red flags early on, because those good looks create a really powerful illusion of perfection. Let's look at section 3, why our brains do this, the evolutionary shortcut. So the totally logical question you're probably asking yourself right now is, why? Why do highly educated judges, experienced teachers, and just everyday rational people unknowingly treat attractive people better? Well, we certainly aren't doing it on purpose. It all comes down to human evolution. Think about our ancestors. Survival required immediate decisions out in the wild.
There simply wasn't time to sit down, grab a coffee, and carefully analyze the character and background of every stranger or potential threat you bumped into. You had to know immediately if someone was safe. Because of that immense life-for-death pressure, our brains develop these massive analytical shortcuts.
You see, the brain's ultimate goal is efficiency and speed. It absolutely loves a shortcut because a shortcut saves processing time. But here's the modern flaw: inaccuracy and mistakes. Your brain is constantly trying to be fast, not necessarily accurate. And that preference for speed over accuracy, that is the exact root cause of this psychological bias we deal with today. It grabs onto one tiny piece of good data, like a nice smile or a symmetrical face, and it just autofills the rest of the person's character profile to save a few milliseconds. All right, section 4, outsmarting the halo effect, breaking the cycle of bias. Okay, here is the really good news. We absolutely do not have to be victims of our own evolutionary wiring. There are incredibly effective, totally actionable ways to beat this once you know it actually exists. The next time you meet someone new, whether it's on a first date or sitting in a corporate boardroom, consciously stop and ask yourself, am I judging this person based on actual facts or just their appearance? Force yourself to look for hard evidence of their character. Really listen carefully to what they're actually saying, rather than getting distracted by how they look while saying it. By actively questioning your first impression, you kind of act as a circuit breaker. You've forced your brain out of its primitive, lazy shortcut mode and pull it up into higher-level logical analysis. If you remember nothing else, please take away this powerful truth directly from our source material. Confidence isn't competence, appearance isn't character, and beauty isn't honesty. You just have to consciously remind yourself every single day that the packaging does not always reflect the contents inside.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with something real to chew on. Look back at your own life for a minute. Your friendships, your business decisions, your romantic relationships, even the videos you choose to click on. And honestly ask yourself, have you ever judged someone way too quickly just because of their appearance? Now that you understand the hidden psychology of the halo effect, I guarantee you're going to start noticing it